My name is Rachel Poppy, and I currently teach Spanish 102 at Arizona State University, and this is my reflection on second language acquisition. When I was a student, Spanish language learning was the first real glimpse that I had into the fascinating diversity of the world. As an instructor, I look forward to helping students grow not only in linguistic knowledge, but above all, in intercultural communication skills. I use a flipped teaching method in which new material is introduced outside of the classroom, so when students come to class, they are able to practice vocabulary and concepts that they have learned, as well as ask questions that further the learning process. In addition, this allows for individualized learning at each student's unique pace. As students come to class primed with vocabulary and linguistic or cultural concepts, we can practice communication more effectively in the classroom. Through discussions, surveys, and other task-based activities, students practice the new material and learn from one another. Much of class time is dedicated to small group or pair work, which allows for creativity, critical thinking, and negotiation of meaning to take place. In this sense, students are active participants in the classroom setting, and I, as the instructor, act as the facilitator so that students are empowered and engaged in the learning process. In this student-centered classroom, I also believe that it is essential to foster a growth mindset. It can be intimidating for students to share thoughts, opinions, or creative ideas in any setting, but often students come to a language classroom with even more anxiety to participate in an unfamiliar language. In addition, students may become frustrated because they feel that they cannot communicate their ideas in a complex way without mistakes. However, in a classroom that fosters a growth mindset, students know that mistakes are simply a part of the learning process. What's more, a growth mindset creates a sense of community in which students challenge and encourage one another. Interactive activities and discussions are far more beneficial when all students feel comfortable to participate actively. I include not only listening, reading, writing, and speaking activities in the classroom, but I also encourage students to explore strategies for these skills. In listening and reading, students can develop learning strategies through peer discussion and learner reflection. I also believe it is important to provide interactive, interesting, and authentic materials for students because this increases student motivation by allowing students to make connections with the content that they are learning in the target language. Student motivation for language learning varies. For some students, the class is a requirement, while others are interested in learning more about the culture. I provide a survey for students at the beginning of the semester, allowing them to reflect on past language learning, as well as motivations and goals for future language learning. For many students, communication is their objective in taking a Spanish course. Therefore, authentic communication opportunities in reading, writing, speaking, and listening are an important aspect of my classroom. However, the cultural and pragmatic aspects of language learning should not be forgotten. Rather, I believe this is perhaps the most essential objective in language teaching. Because of the interconnected nature of culture and language, my teaching philosophy emphasizes the intercultural aspect of language teaching. I believe that this approach to language teaching is important because it promotes critical thinking and intercultural communication skills. As students study a second language, they learn to not only be open to how to communicate in that language, but also with people from varying cultural backgrounds. Above all, it allows students to develop a sense of empathy and awareness that motivates them to be caring contributors to the global community.